Hello, BookTube, and I'm live
Hey,
again for another Saturday night with Scott
hello.
Danielson. Hi, Scott.
And it's Saturday morning here.
Saturday morning. Yeah,
Yeah, we're 10 in the morning here. I love it.
I think the time should be like I always get this confused.
Hmm.
In the springtime, there's a week or so that we're out of sync, and it's either
Yeah.
it's less hours different or more hours different for a week or two, and it's like it flips,
Hmm.
and I can never remember whether it's spring or autumn, which one it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So it's 10 in the morning here. And then we have a time change coming up. I think it's in November. I don't think it's before November, but it's like the daylight savings has gotten really short. It's like November to March, it's only like a third of the year or something like that. Seems like it used to be longer than that. But anyway,
That's
there's
interesting.
a lot of people around here anyway. I don't know if it's nationwide or not that just want to eliminate that. It's like, what are we doing this for?
Yeah.
So heck
Uh,
yeah. Um,
Daylight savings.
yeah, it's got to be like November or something, November 3rd or something.
Okay, so yeah, we do it on the 26th here of October, so
Oh,
we'll be
oh,
so it'll
actually,
be
yeah.
for a week or so. It'll be longer, so it'll be an
Okay.
extra hour out. I think is that
So
right?
I actually have it the opposite. So daylight savings is most of the year, according to this. It's like 9 months of the year we're in daylight savings, and then we pop out of it for just a few months.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and then
But
yeah,
anyway, fall is the good one. So always look forward to that one. When it changes, you get an extra hour. It's the one on the other side just kills me. Takes me a week to recover from that.
well, like I've always been told that it has to do with the farmers, like for them, and I'm going. Well, farmers don't care about clocks. It's like when
Yeah.
the sun comes up, they
Yeah.
work, you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
And wouldn't you rather have an extra hour in the evening of light,
so
whatever
why
that
why
is?
don't we have just one time for the whole world? And it's all the
Yeah,
same. And then so when you say 1400, I'll know what 1400 is all the time. It's just in my area, our day might be 1400 to, you know what I mean?
well, I think it
Why
is
does everybody need a 8 to 5?
isn't don't isn't there a international time? Isn't it called Zulu or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, Zulu
Yeah,
time. Isn't that Greenwich?
yeah,
So it's like right where you're at or near where you're at, the line. Greenwich Mean Time, they
yeah,
used to call it in my ham radio days.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
so that is all over, you know.
Right, right. Yeah, and some people do use that, I think. Some, I don't know, like scientists and stuff. So
Yeah,
there's no doubt nobody's doing any conversions.
like there's meridian lines in all over the place, and
Mhm.
that'll segue into something we can maybe talk about. We
Uh-huh.
talk about it. This that in Nottingham, I think it's Nottingham. There's a subscription library that was started potentially by an ancestor of mine,
Oh, cool. Uh-huh.
Reverend Standfast, but
Mhm.
they still got a room called the Standfast room, and it has a meridian line in
Oh, wow. Cool.
it.
That's awesome. Yeah, so your family was in England, and then you went to Canada, and then you moved back to England?
Yeah, it seems to be a popular thing with parts of my family going back and forth. And my grandfather emigrated with his family, three sisters, I think it is, and a
Mhm.
brother, in 1916, and they set up in Vermont on a farm.
Mhm.
But my great grandfather was there since 1909,
Mm.
or in the U.S. And and then somehow something happened at the end of the 20s, or mid 20s, that either my grandfather and his father emigrated to Canada, but then he came back and married his first cousin, his first wife, and then somehow he's in the 1930 U.S. Census in Vermont with his wife, and he's working at a sawmill. And the strange thing is, he probably was working for Mark Richardson's father.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding. Oh, how cool.
I don't know how many sawmills are around there, but he was apparently a big sawmill.
Oh, nice. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
So that's just kind of weird.
That is so crazy. Yeah, so I'm a full half Swedish. On my dad's side, both his sets of both his parents are from Sweden. So if I understand right, it was his grandparents on both sides immigrated from Sweden. And then the other half of me is a quarter Irish and then an eighth Polish, eighth Russian.
Yeah, because mine gets mingled in there too, because on my dad's mother's side, you go back to actually Quebec or France. Actually, it goes back to like 1400s in France. But
wow.
There were early settlers here, in Quebec in the mid 1600s, and in Quebec as well. So again, Mark Richardson has ancestors at the same time, and it's like they probably knew each other because
cool.
That was another branch that they probably
that's neat.
Connected.
That's really cool. So I haven't been on ancestry.com for a while, but I got into it for a little while and couldn't figure out how to get deeper into the family tree. But one time this person contacted me and said that my mom's grandparent was also in their family, and they had a whole box of stuff. And he said, "Do you want this stuff?" And I said, "Sure." And he sent it. It was photographs. It had rosaries in it. So my grandpa was in there, as a kid, was in some of these photos. So that was cool, kind of out of the blue, getting contacted by this person. So my family in America, they're all from New York City. So
okay, yeah. There's part of Standfast that went to New York City as well, because my great grandfather's siblings or uncles, a bunch of them emigrated to the U.S. and some went to New York. Some actually went to Kansas as well. So there could be, there could be a connection with Brandy as well.
Oh, nice. How neat. Yeah.
But yeah, so they, and then some of those came back to the UK as well, where they, then they came back here and then spent their old age and died. But my grandfather's younger brother, as I was saying before we started here, he joined in 1942 the Royal Canadian Air Force. And he became a sort of, I guess, a sighter or a gunner. I'm not sure which. I think he was trying to be a gunner. Well, he actually went out to be a pilot, according to the war record or his war record. But he didn't pass, so they couldn't become a pilot. He said he was bad. He wasn't very good at it. But they were laying some mines, I guess, somewhere, I guess, in the North Sea. I'm not 100% sure exactly, but something happened mechanically, I think, to the airplane. And as it was coming back, like by the time I think he bailed out because they thought it was going to crash, but he was too low. So he had injuries and then died possibly he never recovered from the fall. Like he was unconscious. But that's 83 years ago. Tomorrow, I guess, is when it happened, and then died probably on 83 years ago Monday.
Wow.
So and
that's
buried
cool.
just an hour and a half south of me here in a military cemetery.
No way. That's something else.
I didn't know any of this until like within the last year.
Well, that's neat. It's neat to know that stuff. That's great. Yeah, you make me want to dig in a little more on my stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of this because I haven't paid for any subscription to these things, so it was just freebie thing. And then
Yeah.
there was a very nice lady from Canada. Her name is Louise. She's found a lot of stuff. She's gone back on further than I could with Standfast in the UK here, where I guess in the there was one that was a religious leader that was faithful to King Charles, and then was rewarded for that later. Wrote some books, and then, as I say, on the other side, on my dad's side, it goes back to Quebec in France, and in the 1400s there was a philosopher, political philosopher, that's apparently a foundational thing for European political philosophy or something like that.
Interesting.
But he also wrote stuff on demonology and witchcraft. So that's kind of cool.
Very interesting. Yeah.
And then, but she's really found out some stuff about on my mom's side, because I couldn't find anything. And so there's interesting things because I knew my grandfather on my mom's side, like he died in 1957, but he was born in like 1868 and emigrated in, like, I think either just turn of the 20th century to Canada, and he had like 3 wives. So my grandmother there was his 3rd wife, and I think there's like 20 children or something like that. It's like huge families, and like my grandfather was like 60 some or 70 some when my mom was born. So
interesting.
I never knew him because he died like over a decade before I was born, or almost a decade.
Yeah. Gavin's here. Hello, Gavin.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Hi, Gavin.
Cool. So I went to an author event last night.
Yeah.
Here in Logan, Utah, where author events are extremely rare. But one of my wife's favorite writers, a guy named Craig Johnson, I brought his latest. My wife's read all of these. I don't know if you're familiar with them at all, but they're the Longmire was a TV show that was made from his series. I've read 2 of them. I enjoy them. It's about a sheriff in a small town in Wyoming, modern day. In a fictitious county in Wyoming, and but it's really rural. Solving murder mysteries and things in that setting. Anyway, it was fun. It was really, really cool. Good event. Guys really engaging to listen to. Yeah.
Is it set in modern day, like today?
Yep.
Or is it,
Yep. Modern day. Yeah. And hey, Joseph. Yeah. But I mean, those are fun. I enjoy a good author event. Going to conventions and things. That's what I look forward to, is listen to authors talk about stuff.
Yeah, I used to go to the Oxford Literary Festival every year for several years. That was always fun to go, because there were fiction as well as nonfiction authors, and there'd always be someone there that I was interested in.
Yeah, the next one I'm going to go to is in February. It's a convention I go to every year in Provo, Utah. And this year, Orson Scott Card will be there. And let's see, I think his name is Matt Dinneman, who's really popular right now. He writes a series called Dungeon Crawler Carl. And I've read the first one of those. Have you ever heard of those?
No.
It's just a crazy romp. It's extremely fun. It's kind of D&D-ish. It's about the Earth is I'm going to say invaded by aliens, but basically they destroy everything. And so it's Hitchhiker's Guide-ish kind of a situation. And this guy Carl and his cat, well, it's actually his girlfriend's cat, are left alive, and they end up in a dungeon that's like a kind of a competition. So all the humans that are left on Earth are thrown into this thing, and it's very D&D like. There's dice rolls, there's hit points showing up above your head, like in some kind of a holographic display. But and it's absolutely hilarious. So it's just funny stuff.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's brand new. I don't know how many years it's been out, but it's funny. Yeah.
Well, isn't there other things in Utah? There's sort of, I guess, like there's somebody that I see on Instagram, and she goes to cosplay things in Utah. So there must.
Well, we have. It's like a Comic-Con. I don't know that they're allowed to use that word, but Salt Lake has. I think it's called Fan X, and I went to it a couple of times when it first started, and it's extremely crowded, unbelievably crowded. And the most interesting thing to me is the dealer's room, which is huge. It's like a giant pop-up mall full of stuff that I don't need, but I want.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that most of all. But I did get to see the best one that my daughter and I went to was called a Fantasy Con. And that was kind of fun. I'm just remembering that there was a WesterCon, which is a regional science fiction convention that travels, that's not in the same city every year.
Right.
That was in a hotel across the street from FantasyCon. So we got tickets to both, and we were just popping in between the two. At WesterCon, the headliner was Cory Doctorow. And at FantasyCon, like all the dwarves from the Hobbit movies were there. And anyway, it was fun. Simon Pegg, I think, was at that one. I got to see Simon Pegg talk for an hour, kind of in a panel or an interview kind of a situation, and I really like him, so that was kind of fun. Yeah, Joseph has a question about Card.
Yeah,
and I have met Card. Definitely, I'll ask him if I can get an answer. I'll let you know. Yeah, I know he's just written the final volume of the Alvin Maker series. So that's going to be coming out here pretty quick. That's an interesting one. Are you familiar with that at all? I know you don't do fantasy very much, but
yeah, I'm aware of it. But yeah, I don't know.
So that one. The first one is called Seventh Son, and I think the first one is a really good book. It's not very big, but it's like an American fantasy. I don't know, kind of the 1800s or so. And Orson Scott Card is Mormon, right? When that's right around when Mormonism came to be. I think it was 1830. So yeah, it's kind of about a world, and the main character. It's been a while since I've read it, but the main character's name is Alvin Maker, they call him, and the magic that he has is they just call him a maker. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like five of those books, but yeah, he just finished the last one. So it should be out here soon.
Yeah. Like Joseph's saying, he wasn't aware there was another one coming out. But
yeah, the final one, that last book, it just wasn't finished. So he's just finishing it up. He does seem to be finishing up his series. So, like Ender's Game, he's written several of those. Ender's Game itself is just a stunning book to me.
Yeah, I haven't read. I don't think anything past that.
Yeah, Ender's Game is good, and then Speaker for the Dead won some awards too, and it is a completely different kind of book. It's not even close to is what you'd think a sequel would be, but it's really interesting too. It's a good one, I thought, anyway.
Yeah. As for conventions, like I've never been to a science fiction convention. That's thing, other than sort of these conventions for like TV shows and things like that. Star
so the
Trek.
Science fiction, that's what I like most. I like it more than the media ones.
Yeah.
And that one down in Provo that I go to every year, they call it's Life, the Universe, and Everything. And it's been going on for something like 44 years or something like that. And they call it's a symposium, right? Which it's been growing. So there is a lot of things now that are kind of getting in there. But really, it was the panel piece of a convention. The panel tracks and everything, you'd have 4 things going on at once, different panels, and you get to pick, which one you want to go to. But I just enjoy those so much. But that's what I get excited about most are things like that. And and Utah has got a pretty thriving writer community now. I mean, Brandon Sanderson is here. Orson Scott Card he lives in North Carolina, but he comes to Utah all the time. So, and then, those are the 2 big ones, right? The 2 biggest ones, but there are many, Utah writers, and the LTUE, I would say the number of writers and things that start going to those has expanded science fiction and fantasy. The paranormal romance, I think, Stephanie Meyer, who wrote Twilight. She doesn't live in Utah, but she's kind of connected because I believe she's Mormon as well. So there's a connection here, but there's a lot of people writing supernatural romance and things like that are related, and there's a lot of those folks that come too, and it's just been getting bigger and bigger. It started really small, and I think Orson Scott Card may have been one of the folks that was around it when it started. Right. But it was actually started at BYU University and was run by the English department. So anyway, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun to go to. I enjoy those. And then they had another set of science fiction conventions here in Salt Lake called Conduit. And on that one, I went to that every year as well, as soon as I noticed that it existed. But they had great guests. It was so fun. Like Timothy Zahn, I remember, was at the first one I went to. David Brin was the guest of honor at one. Roger Zelazny was, but that was before I started to attend. So it's like I didn't even know they existed until it was too late for that. Let's see, Barbara Hambly, Tim Powers, and all these, these were different years, and it's just a lot of fun. And the conventions were small enough that you would have time to talk to them if you wanted, and they were usually open. A lot of them would just kind of, in between things that they had to do officially, a lot of them would just be somewhere accessible and wanting to talk to people. And, so it was great. Tim Powers was for me, one that I really enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, you kind of wonder, like now, like the WorldCon, how many people attend? Like I think it's like 4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah, WorldCon's changed a lot, and I've been to one WorldCon in Los Angeles. We went one year, and it was fun. It was big, but yeah, all kinds of people. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's just like, everywhere you turn. And so I used to do this website called SFF Audio, where we reviewed science fiction and fantasy audiobooks. And so in 2006, we were, I'm going to say, invited to WorldCon, but it was like the beginning of all this podcasting and everything like that. So it's not like we were some guest or some special guest or anything, but I guess it's more proper to say a lot of the people that we were talking to were going to be at this WorldCon, right? So we decided to go, me and my partner on this website. My partner lives in Canada, by the way. The Vancouver area. So anyway, we flew to WorldCon in LA, and we got to go to the party floor, which was, you just walk down, and like in one door there's tour, and you go in there, and I'm like, I met James P. Hogan, it's like, it was just full. It's like everywhere you look, you know who these folks are. And then in another room on the party floor was George R. R. Martin. This is before Game of Thrones got crazy, but he used to just rent a room, and he would just sit there and drink his drinks, and people would sit at him like he was Buddha. They would sit around him, and just talk to him, because at that time he was writing those books, but there was no TV show. And
when was that?
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
That's sort of near the end of, I think. I'm not sure when James B. Hogan died, but I'd stopped reading him for some reason by then.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, he got like super conservative and stuff at the end there. But a book that's big in my young memory is Inherit the Stars.
Oh yeah,
that was a book I read in high school that I really liked, and I still have a copy here somewhere. But it's got one of the coolest covers.
Is it Daryl Sweet, I think, or is it?
Yeah, it's a person. They discover a person on the moon in a spacesuit that has died thousands of years ago, and that's kind of the premise of the book, Inherit the Stars. And it's kind of Arthur C. Clarke-ish, the same kind of not heavy on characterization or anything like that, like people expect nowadays, but kind of an exploration of this idea. It's a kind of fiction I still enjoy a lot. Yeah.
I loved the series. I've never read the final volume that he did of it. I think he was at 5 or 6. I can't remember books, because there was.
Yeah, I've only read 3. I don't recall that he went past that, but I think it was Gentle Giants of Ganymede.
Yeah, and then
Giant Star.
Yeah, and after that,
and I didn't know there was things after that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was I read the one after that. Entoverse? Is that maybe? And
Not
then I
ringing
can't
a bell.
remember. And there's at least one other, maybe. Yeah, I think there's one other one after that, which I haven't read. I've been collecting his stuff occasionally over the last several years because I want to read, because I read everything up until sort of sometime in the mid 90s or late 90s, because I really liked him, and then for some reason I just got away from him.
Yeah.
For some reason, and then I find out about his batshit insane sort of.
It's like, what on earth? What on earth? The whole world's gone crazy. But there was another one by him that I remember really, fairly well. I'm not going to remember details, but Code of the Life Maker.
Yeah.
That was one, and I remember a robot society. It's like, I'm not going to be sure I have these details right, but there was some crash landing on a planet or something like that of these robot things that were sent by humans, and turned out that some of the robots had half the code they needed, and the other robots had the other half, and now you had male and female, so as they reproduced, you'd have to have 2. Yeah,
there's a sequel to that as well, and I haven't read that. I think it's, I'm not sure if that's the immortality option. That might be the one that's the sequel. I can't remember. But yeah, there's quite a few. I liked his Proteus operation, which was sort of a alternate time, I guess.
Yeah, I dimly remember that, because I was in the science fiction book club, and that was one of those that came in, and I remember a cover that had Einstein on it, and a couple of other people. Yeah.
With time travel. And I remember one of the things I remember mostly about this was that Churchill was a character in it as well, and Churchill sort of died on a barricade in London.
Yeah. Wow. How about Thrice Upon a Time?
Yes. Yeah. That was I read that one. Yeah. And something about Yesteryear. There was another one. And then there was let's see, I'm blanking on the names. There was a couple that he wrote sort of near future. And there was one about that there was like 4 or 5 families that were sort of setting out to rule the world. Like they started in the 1700s or even before, and then they built up enough power and money that in like now in the 2020s or so, that they're taking over. You know,
how cool! Yeah, love it. That's
area.
fun. That was a fun trip down memory lane.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do like him, and it's just I know he was conservative, but then he got really conservative.
Yeah, there's some change. I'm not sure he held certain views all the time. I don't know, and I don't even remember anymore what his views were. All I know that it was just like, wow, it's a little startling. And then but yeah, I don't remember what year he died. In fact, let me look that up.
Yeah,
but yeah, all I know is that one book, Inherit the Stars, was he died in 2010.
2010. Yeah, I read it as a book club edition called Minerva Experiment, because the Giants had a planet that's called Minerva, and the the asteroid belt. It looks like you put yourself on mute. You're on mute, I think. Yeah, I can't hear you because you're on mute. Yeah. Should be on the screen below. Should be a little mic thing there to click.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was more it popped up and said your browser has lost connection with your microphone, and I was like, what on earth?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yep. All looks well now. So I was clicking the unmute, but it wasn't doing anything. So anyway, I was looking over there when you mentioned these science fiction book club editions. In fact, I'll just grab one. I came across this one. The science fiction book club was one, I was always in and out of, but this is the Four Lords of the Diamond.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
Oh. So, but these editions were cool, and I had the let's see, Dragon Flight, by Anne McCaffrey, The Dragon Riders of Kern, I think was the omnibus volume was called, and but yeah, I just ran across this and I picked it up. It was like purely for nostalgic reasons. It was like, man, because I read this one. This is 4 novels that again, this has been long enough that I hope I get this right, but there are prison planets, and once you go on the planet, it's like there's microbes or something on the planet that once you live there, you can't leave there anymore, because whatever it is you ingest, and now if you try to leave, you die, because whatever nutrients you need now that you've sucked in some kind of a microbe or something changes your anatomy in a fashion that you now need whatever the planet is giving for you to survive, right? So you'd send fugitives to these planets, and then you just let them be. So they need to go after a fugitive that's on one of these planets for some information or something. I don't know. But what they do is they take this agent and they clone him 4 times, and they send him to each planet. And each novel is one of the planets, and each novel starts exactly the same place. He wakes up on the planet that he's got to find this fugitive on, because they didn't know which planet was the right one. And that's a cool premise. Jack Chalker has some cool ideas, but it's been so long since I've read that, and I just saw that and I said, "Oh, I gotta have that." So I picked it up. So I've been planning to pick it up and read it again and see, how close I am to write. But it's 4 novels in here.
Yeah, well, they did a lot of
book club
those.
editions were just cool.
Yeah, I didn't like them for a long time. I did not like them, and I guess over the last 20 years or so, since I've been in the UK here, I've softened and would love to get some. Like I would love to get the Edgar Rice Burroughs, the Barsoom ones, the John Carter Mars.
On those, I was always attached to the paperbacks, the Del Rey paperbacks.
Yeah,
I have a full set of them right over here, and all the art. I think it's Michael Whelan, right?
Yeah.
Love those. Yeah. Again, filled with nostalgia, even thinking about those, and the same thing, I think it's the same way with these book club editions. I would love to find a good copy of the Dragon Riders of Pern just to have that.
I remember that one.
But again, it's like a nostalgic thing. It's like, is that the best edition I could find? No, but it's just, it's in my head. I read that, and loved it,
Well, it's like for Foundation, Isaac Asimov, because there was the trilogy, and there was 2. The one that I had was the pinkish or purplish one.
Yeah.
But when I bought it again, I couldn't find that one cheap enough, or at least it seemed to have been expensive, so I bought the one that was black.
Yeah.
That's the same thing, but
that's cool.
It doesn't.
I remember they came out with a copy of the Foundation trilogy. The book club did, and then when Foundation's Edge came out in the 80s, it matched what they published, the cover of the Foundation's Edge. So I would have, the Foundation trilogy and then Foundation's Edge as a matching piece. Good stuff.
There was the Complete Robot, which I think it was red. It was red, and it was actually, it might have been the first time it was all put together. I think, as a separate book.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one
on Picard. The first series of Picard, I think it was. The woman, she was a biologist, I think, or something. But she's at Picard's estate, and she pulls this up. She holds up that
really
one and says, "Oh, you're into the classics."
Love it. Oh, I got to check it out just for that reason. I love it.
Yeah. It's cool. The first. I think it's the first episode, and I thought, "Oh, that was kind of cool."
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's fun. I brought a couple of things. I know I've talked to you about, like, I've been getting into some fantasy lately, but not like epic stuff. Like the Ballantine.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, this just came in. I have not yet read it. The Worm or Ouroboros. And then here's a Lovecraft one, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath, I guess. Yeah. And then here's another Lovecraft one, The Doom that came to Sarnak. Yeah,
he's been collecting those.
That's cool. But I've really liked every one that I've read. Like The King of Elfland's Daughter by Lord Dunsany. Yeah. The one that we did that actually wasn't in a volume like this, but I actually read a Conan story. It was called The Tower of the Elephant. It was on for a podcast I was on. And it's the first time that I have read a Conan. And I was delighted by it. I thought it was great. So I picked this up. Just this has the Tower of the Elephant in it. But, I plan on reading that. So I've really been liking like Sword and Sorcery, Fritz Leiber, the Fafford and the Grey Mouser. And I bet there's this guy, he wrote a book. His name is Brian Murphy. And he wrote a book just about Sword and Sorcery. And gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. I'm not going to remember the name of it. But he's got a blog called The Silver Key. if anybody wants to look him up. His name is Brian Murphy, and he's got a list. He made a list of his favorite pieces of sword and sorcery, and I've been working my way through those, and every single one has just been excellent. But I've really been enjoying that. So I don't know. I don't know. There's just something about these old fantasies, this stuff. There's a lot of epic fantasy right now. There's a lot of fantasy being written, period. I would say if you go to science fiction section right now, most of it is actually fantasy. Oh, cool. Yeah, Gavin just commented.
Yeah, I have that one.
I love it.
The first one, I think. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I've got a few more of the Valentines as well. But like I said, everyone, I've got the Sundering Flood, which I haven't read yet. But they're just really good. The Broken Sword by Poul Anderson was one. Anyway, I just keep reading these, and like I said, the Conan's surprised me with how good it was. I don't know what I expected it was, but it's got more depth than I expected that it would. And
I read the Conan stuff that I remember reading were the novelizations in the 80s, and I remember liking them. And then I got that book, and I did not like it. I did not like the short story.
Yeah.
But talking about sword and sorcery, there's a
this one too.
Okay.
This one too. Sorry to interrupt, but this is not sword and sorcery, but this is also fantasy, right? George MacDonald. I read Lilith, and then I picked this volume up. This just came in a couple days ago. So Fantastes is one that was recommended to me, but Lilith was excellent too.
Yeah, I've got a pastiche of Tarzan. It's called Balzan. It's a little trilogy, and it's where the character Balzan was kidnapped off the earth by cat people. So he's raised with cat people. And it's the sword and sorcery. It just looks so bad that I have to read it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love it. Yes, Clark Ashton Smith. In fact, that's great, Joseph, that you say that, because the podcast I was on, we talked about The Tower of the Elephant by Robert E. Howard and The Tale of Satampra Zeros by Clark Ashton Smith. And both great stories. I would say that the Conan story to me had a greater depth to it. The Clark Ashton Smith story was great, though. I mean, it was really good.
I remember liking Clark Ashton
two thieves headed to this temple to steal stuff, try to make some money, and then it turns out that temple does not want anything stolen out of it. It's really good. I mean, oh yeah, good stuff. So I do have a Clark Ashton Smith collection, the Penguin. I don't recall what it's called, but it's a Penguin collection that I'm working through slowly as well.
I think
that one, and I also have a Lord Dunsany Penguin collection that I'm just picking these up and reading a story now and then I don't want to read them back to back to back to back. I want to savor those a little bit and read one at a time, and then just kind of return to it in between other things. But I'm loving Lord Dunsany a lot. I've read 2 of his books, and then some short stuff, and then Clark Ashton Smith is great, and now Conan's great. Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser is great. So kind of going through this phase where I just want to read all of that.
Yeah, I've got, like I say, I got a Clark Ashton Smith, I think. I picked up somewhere along the line. I remember liking him.
Yeah.
And I've got a Lord Dunsany as well, just a small book. It's called The Elixir or something. I can't even remember if that's a novel.
I remember the second one. The Charwoman's Daughter is the other one I read.
Okay.
So the Charwoman's Daughter and I think I said the name before, the Princess one isn't that Lord Dunsany? The elf daughter, the elf something's daughter. That's what I'm trying to remember the name. I said it just a minute ago, but yeah. But anyway, it was good.
Yeah, I still haven't really read anything much, but I did show you the, or I guess I did the thing on it, the creator, the one I got.
Yes, cool.
I can reach it here.
Yeah, I haven't been watching BookTube lately. I got to get back on that. So did you say you did a video on it?
Yeah, well, when it came, just
cool.
Talking about, because I've got the original.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it is. Is it here? I've got the no, it's not here. I've got the original publication in the Marvel Tales from 1934. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this was nice to get.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
And it's in really good shape. Like this, the guy didn't know what this was, but I'm like, there's the I think it's the bands.
Yeah,
that was tied around it. So this was probably the top one, and then the bottom one would have had it across the back.
That's awesome. And it's signed, right?
No, it's not. No. Oh. So see, this is the thing. There's 20, or is it 25 hardcovers that they hand bound of these. Because there were, is it 500? Was the print run, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the signed ones have to be just the ones that he signed at the convention.
Oh, okay.
So they're not numbered of these. Like I say, there's the 20 hardcovers that were bound, or something like that. 20 hardcovers. Well, it says in here, but I'd have to just open it up. Mm-hmm. I put it in a plastic.
Yeah, the one I have is not numbered. There's no number in it.
No. So I think it's just, he was sitting there probably signing.
Oh.
And however many that he signed, who knows? Because people want more for these signed ones than they do for the limited, the hard-covered ones that are numbered and signed.
I see.
Which seems a little strange, but that's what people are calling for.
Wild.
And there's the original.
Look at that. That's great. Yeah.
That showed up for like it's dirty and it's got some sunning on it or darkening around it. But that was only £5 something that somebody had. They didn't know how to spell creator on their listing, so I think I just found it accidentally.
Oh wow, that's cool.
But that's why I think there's 500 of these done as well. In
that's
1946.
Nice. That's nice.
So
love it.
So yeah, so I just need the what do I need? I need the hardcover 20 volume 20 copy one to complete the creator collection.
Nice. Cool. This is my current read. I'm about 40 pages into this. Is all just started it yesterday. The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I really like him. The Only Good Indians is a great book. In my opinion, it's a horror novel, very atypical horror novel.
The only thing I've ever read of him was an introduction to, I can't remember the name of it now. It was the novel. The movie was made with Karen Black and Oliver Reed. The family going into this house, renting the house for the summer. Burgess Meredith was like the owners. And the house is alive. The house is alive. Basically, it has a spirit. And
was it Hell House?
Not Hell House. I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, is it a classic?
I don't know. Yeah, well, yes, and no. I just thought I had it. But anyway, he did an introduction for it, and I thought the introduction was wonderful. So I just go,
cool. Very
from
good.
that, I would want to read something of his to see, you know.
And he's got some short stuff too. If you're interested, there was one called, oh, cool. Oh, what did you think, Ariane? So far, I'm enjoying it. And if you want to read more, I would say The Only Good Indians, I think, is his standout book. And then My Heart is a Chainsaw is a very good one, too. It's about a girl. My Heart is a Chainsaw. It's about a girl who she's troubled, teenager, troubled, sees the world through all the horror movies she's watched. Like, people are characters in these things. And sorry, I've got this cat. It's like losing her mind. Anyway, things start to occur, at where she is, you know what I mean? And but she just sees the world through the lens of horror movies. But it's a good book. My Heart is a Chainsaw. I'm trying to recall the name of Mapping the Interior is what it's called. Mapping the Interior is a novella that's really good if you want just a taste of what he does. Mapping the Interior is a really good one.
It was Burnt Offerings is the book that I'm
okay
about. Yeah,
very good.
Cool. She liked it.
I'm glad you liked Buffalo Hunter. So far, I'm liking it quite a bit. It's like a period piece, like a historical novel. There's some framing stories and stories within the stories so far, where it starts out where this person is in academia, and she has discovered or has some journals. Some journals are being, it's like they're really delicate, so they're being scanned in, and the pages are being sent to her because the journals were written by an ancestor of hers, and she's a historian or something in academia. And then, the book flips, and now you're reading this person's journal who was a Lutheran minister in the Old West, and this Indian comes and that was apparently talking to Jesuits because he wore kind of a black cassock and some dark glasses, and that's I'm not much farther than that. That's kind of what's going on. But then now it's like I'm getting to the point where the Indian is telling the Lutheran minister a story, and now I'm 2 stories deep listening to the Indian tell the Lutheran minister the story who was writing the journal that the modern person is reading. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. I agree with you on modern horror, and I would have to say most modern fiction in general. But I like, I'm glad that it felt like a classic read because, yes, there are always authors that are exceptions, And, and for him, when I discovered this guy, to him, he's breaking through all the modern stuff. And then I say, like The Only Good Indians is an atypical book. I don't know if you'd call it modern or not, but it's just written in this way. It's hard to describe, but it works really well, and it was super effective for me.
Well, it's like I say, I'm
going to let this cat out while you're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was extremely impressed with the introduction to Burnt Offerings. I just never followed it up to read anything else by him, but it's not often that I read an introduction that I sort of feel that way. It's not often at all. I can only think of a couple, and it was really good.
Yeah.
And Ariane's been looking into a lot of stuff. She's going through, sadly, going through all my videos on my science fiction reference. So.
Nice. Sadly, you say.
Well,
gold. It's gold, Jerry.
Yeah, but she's going to have a huge list to buy.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
And I got to get back to reading because I enjoyed the stuff that we were doing. the essays and
Yeah.
stuff. We still got to finish off the.
Yeah, I'd love to rejoin that whenever you're ready and continue our CIMAC trek.
Yes.
Yep.
Not
Whenever
sad.
you're ready. Yep. Take your time.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to I got halfway through Ring Around the Sun, so and
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to reread that because I was getting to a point where like when I try to read, my mind is all over the place and I just start dozing off. It's just not conducive to reading.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know you weren't a big fan of audiobooks, but have you tried any of that?
Well, I've tried podcasts, and see, the thing is, that is sort of too. I doze off, and my mind wanders.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if my mind needs a little more to work with to keep me awake. Talking does that to a certain extent until I get really tired.
Yeah.
Watching things are a little better because I've got the visual and the audio stimulus, but it's like I can only do a lot of that for like 20 minutes. Like if it's a TV show, it's an hour long. I have to sometimes do it in 3 sittings. Because otherwise I just get to a point where I don't even know what has happened. And that's the same as the reading. Like I'm reading it, but I don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
Well, so
I hear you.
And that's just really frustrating because I still can't sort of lay down to sleep or anything like that. I'm hoping that next week finally I speak to the doctor and get the weight loss injections, and I'm hoping that will sort of start me on a process of being able to lay down again and rest properly.
Gotcha.
But,
well, I hope all that works out for you, Sean.
Yeah, the CIMAC stuff, because I was sitting down a little while ago, realizing that I have most of his books now in first editions.
Yeah,
I've got one collection, I think the Worlds of Clifford CIMAC, that I don't have, and I have to check to see that it might be actually a book club edition. If that is, then that's very easy to get. And then it's Ring Around the Sun, Why Call Them Back from Heaven, Way Station, and Enchanted Pilgrimage are the only 4 novels that I need.
Wow, very good.
And I'm never going to be able to get Way Station because that'll be $3,000 probably.
Yeah, wow.
Holy
cow. Yeah, I've got everything in paperback. All of his novels in paperback is what I have. Yeah.
Oh, you even got the Empire, don't you? You got the
the magazine edition. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. It's a little damaged.
Yeah,
it's not fully intact.
I've got one. Mine's okay. It's got some creases on the back, but I bought it with a whole bunch, a collection of the magazine, the Galaxy novels. Yeah, which I really like the covers. Like you've seen the Less Darkness Fall on that, haven't you?
Yes,
that one. That's a really cool cover.
Yeah, it is. You're talking about the Daryl K. Sweet?
No.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Yeah.
No, let me see if I can reach it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's.
I'll grab mine while you're grabbing yours.
Well, I can show you the other ones here because I don't.
Yeah, this is the one I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, no, that's a cool
Daryl K. Sweet cover. I love that cover.
There's my Empire. That's got to be the worst cover of all of them.
Yeah, and that's the one I have.
Pebble in the Sky, which is fabulous.
Yeah, look at that.
Let's see. There it is.
Oh yeah, look at that. Mm-hmm.
But these are fabulous covers. Murray Leinster, The Last Spaceship.
Yep.
Lewis Paget, Chessboard Planet.
Chessboard Planet.
Just fabulous covers.
Yeah, look at those things. Tarnished Utopia.
Yeah, they're just
very cool.
There's like 30 some of them. I think the last 10 might be or 5 were book size. One. But,
yeah.
But I wouldn't mind getting the rest of them just because they're pretty good titles. And there's even L.
L. Ron Hubbard. Look at that. Yeah, that is fun. I feel like we've talked about this before, but this copy, so that I have here, I just ordered from somebody, and inside, I didn't buy it as a signed edition, but it's got this in it. It says, "For Jerry, to be 70 again. L. Sprague de Camp, 9/17/86."
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I was
a
going to
surprise.
Say with the James B. Hogan, I bought I'm not sure if it's a collection of short stories or a collection of his short stories and some essays, but one of them, I think it's a tour, but it's signed, and like I only paid like £1 for it or something, and like maybe £1 something shipping or something like that.
Yeah, wow.
And it looked in really good shape, but I had no idea that it was signed.
How about that? Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
That happened to me one time too, with Octavia Butler. I have this book here. And I ordered this used. And Octavia Butler has passed away, but this is Bloodchild.
Oh.
So it's a short collection of stories.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just ordered it off of eBay, and I didn't order a signed one, and lo and behold, there's her autograph. So that was a surprise too. Well, so be sure to check the covers.
Yeah, well, I ordered this must have been over 10 years ago, when about 2015, I guess, so about 10 years ago. I reread the Hyperion cantos, and I needed is it Endymion? Yeah, Endymion, I think. And I bought it a hardcover off of Amazon from a seller. It was like £2 something plus whatever shipping. Wow. So just maybe over £5, and it's signed.
Wow, that's neat.
It was signed. It's got a bit of sunning on the spine, like it's a slightly faded, but still.
Yeah. That's great. Nice. Really cool. That's great.
I need to get the Hyperion in the first in, because I've got Fall of Hyperion, and I've got the other two. One I think it's the Rise of Endymion got a little water damaged when my roof was leaking. That really really made me angry because there's a bit of spotting on it. Some things can be replaced, but not everything.
Right, that's all true. Very good. Very good. Well, it's sure good to see you, Sean.
Yeah, and thanks for stopping by. Like I say, I was going to say, for CIMAC, I want to get back to it because I definitely want to continue. With that.
I do too, very much. So whenever you're ready, take your time. Whenever you say go, we'll go. Yeah.
Because I did the I got to do another Pulp Monday thing, but I did the last one I did was the December 1931 with World of the Red Sun, his first published story.
Right, nice.
And because in 1932 was 31 was his first published story, and he did 4 or 5 stories in 32, and then he did nothing till The Creator. So
Wow. Yeah.
so we got to get to the short stories eventually too. So.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Yeah, now I have all of those, the complete collection of short stories on Kindle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all. So I've got everything, as I think you do too. So
yeah, I've got them as ebooks and physical books. So I've got everything that he wrote, like in physical form, every story.
Nice.
So
Wow.
I just need to, as I say, get the. In the last year and a half, I must have been given about 6 or 7 first editions.
Oh, that's great.
So that really
Cool.
expanded my collection. So
Yes.
I just need 5 or 4 novels and 1 short story collection. So anybody else out there that has especially a way station, I'm not proud. I will take it.
I love it. I love it. That's great.
Anyway, thanks
Very
everybody
good.
for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
I'll see you
Great to
next
hear
week.
from everyone.
Hopefully, maybe before then with a video or 2.
Yeah, sounds awesome. All right.
Okay.
Take it easy. Goodbye, all.